The Bible tells us that God's ways are not our ways. His thoughts are not our thoughts. And it made me think of perspective. In order to stay in step with God's Spirit, we have to be willing at times to change our perspective. Just as I read through the Bible, listen, there's quite a few stories where I'm like, if it was up to me, that's not how it would have went. Like, who would have thought that Daniel having to go to the lion's den would be how that king at the time would believe in his God? Who would have thought that of all the places Jesus was to be born, that a manger would have been the place of choice? It stinks. I'm sure it was dirty and it was loud. Yet that was the place God chose. Who would have thought that the way to save humanity would be Jesus dying at the cross? As great as he was, as loving as he was, as much as he challenged the way people thought and talked about walking in forgiveness, even when they did some things that at the time was worth being stoned for. So I want you to think, how often are you set in your way of thinking? How often do you see something play out in real time, or even when you think back and in your mind, that person was the villain? In your mind, they were just out to get me. In your mind, it just isn't working in my favor. Are you willing to take on a new perspective so that you can go back, revisit a past situation in your life and see that, man, at the time, I didn't see the purpose. At the time, I didn't understand how this pain was going to help me. But now that I'm giving it a second look, I see how God used this. Because sometimes it's the perspective that you have going into a situation that helps you to figure out how to get out of it. There are times where even if God wants to do everything in his power to help you, he can't if you won't let him. I think of in the Bible when Jesus told the disciples to go out and knock on the people's doors and talk to them. He said, if they don't receive you, kick the dust off your feet and keep it moving. When Jesus healed the man who had the lesions and he allowed them to jump into the pigs, the people wanted him gone because they were too scared. They couldn't perceive that he was there to help. So I pray that whatever perspective shift you have to make to receive God and his goodness, you're able to make it so you don't block a blessing.